The body's secret alphabet. Listen carefully. When skin blisters, when joints ignite, when lungs gasp for air, it is not biology gone rogue. It is your own soul sending smoke signals through flesh, desperate for you to read a language you forgot you knew. Imagine standing in an ancient library where every scroll glows faintly in moonlight, but none bear human words, only living sigils that pulse when you approach. This is your body. Each symptom is a shimmering glyph, encoded with personal prophecy. Medieval physician mage Paracelsus called disease the handwriting of the invisible. Modern intuitive healer Caroline Myss echoes him, insisting that your biography becomes your biology. Both point to an occult truth: pain is scripted purpose. Think of the fever that once flattened you as a ritual bonfire, burning away stale identities. Picture chronic backache as an iron gate across the path you refuse to leave. Even the common cold, that humbling thief of voice, can be read as enforced silence, spirit's way of compelling inward listening. Yet most of us treat these coded letters like unwanted spam. We medicate, suppress, delete. Imagine a monarch who orders the beheading of every messenger that brings uncomfortable news. How quickly would wisdom flee that realm? So it is with us. Whenever we numb a migraine without inquiry, we exile inner guidance. When we curse inflamed joints, we silence ancestral counsel rising from the marrow. Tonight, before you swallow another pill or utter another curse at your own cells, pause. Press your palm over the ache, as you might seal a parchment beneath wax. Ask, what forgotten message rides on this pain? Then listen, not with ears but with the hush beneath thought. There, in the cave of silence, the glyphs begin to glow. In the ancient world, illness was not interruption, it was initiation. To fall ill was to cross a veil, to be chosen by unseen forces for an inner pilgrimage. Among the Siberian shamans, the sickness of the future healer was not misfortune, it was requirement. Their bones would ache, their organs would falter, their dreams would flood with strange animals. This shamanic illness, as Mircea Eliade called it, was not cured, it was completed. It marked the threshold where the soul split open to receive sacred sight. The Egyptians believed that disease was the body absorbing spiritual imbalance before it could rot the soul. The temples of Imhotep, high priest of healing, did not administer pills, they guided initiates into dream chambers where visions would speak the root cause. Imagine being told, you do not have liver pain, you have unprocessed rage. Your kidneys do not fail, they grieve your unspoken fears. Fast forward to modern mysticism. Louise Hay, echoing these ancient truths, compiled mappings of the body that read like karmic cartography. Throat issues. You've swallowed too many truths. Skin conditions. A deep fear of exposure. Stomach cramps. You're digesting a life that isn't truly yours. Illness, in this view, is never random. It is a mirror. A rite of passage. A coded trial. And just like in every mystery school, only the initiate who reads the signs within the suffering earns the key. Now ask yourself. What pain keeps returning, despite all treatment? What organ seems to hold a voice that no one hears but you? What part of your body is acting out the story your mouth refuses to tell? To truly heal, one must descend, like Orpheus into the underworld, not to fight the shadows, but to hear what they have waited lifetimes to whisper. Practical technique, the symptom journal. Start tonight. Choose one symptom, no matter how small. Write it down. Then ask. What emotion was I avoiding when this began? What am I being forced to stop, change, or notice? What memory does this pain echo? Don't analyze. Let the body speak. Sketch. Scribble. Cry. Then sit in silence. And wait. The response may come in dreams, in chance phrases, in sudden tears. But it will come. Because the body, like an ancient oracle, only waits for us to ask the right question. Not all wounds are punishments. Some are promises. Across mystical traditions, there lingers a haunting idea, whispered in monasteries, carved into temple stone, and murmured by clairvoyants during deep trance: illness may be chosen. Not by the conscious self, but by the soul before birth. According to esoteric schools like the Kabbalistic tree of life, the soul descends into flesh-carrying Tikkun, a sacred correction, or karmic refinement. It does not descend to enjoy, but to remember, not to indulge, but to transform. In this view, certain bodies are designed to fracture in precise ways, not as punishment, but as a key. A pre-agreed rupture through which divine light can enter. Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet, gave thousands of readings in trance, often explaining physical diseases as echoes of past life imbalances, unfinished lessons returning in cellular form. A woman with chronic throat infections had silenced herself across lifetimes. A man with twisted legs once bound prisoners in chains. The body, Cayce said, becomes the chalkboard on which the soul writes its unfinished script. Now imagine. What if the migraine you despise is actually a gateway to higher clairvoyance? What if the cancer you fear is a compressed initiation, one that demands death of ego so the true self may rise? What if the body's decline is, paradoxically, the soul's ascent? This is not spiritual bypass. This is the hard truth of initiates, that healing is not always curing. Some bodies are not meant to be fixed, they are meant to reveal. Just as a stained glass window is most beautiful when light bleeds through its cracks, so too do we become luminous only when we surrender to being broken on purpose. Practical insight, the soul dialogue ritual. In a quiet room, light a single candle. Sit with the question. What if I agreed to this pain before I was born? Close your eyes and speak aloud, not to the pain, but to the part of you who chose it. Say, I don't yet understand your purpose, but I honor your wisdom. If you are here for my awakening, show me how to walk through, not around. Then listen. Wait. Journal. Dream. Signs may come slowly, but they will come. Because when the soul is honored, it answers in ways that rewrite fate. There is a paradox at the heart of all esoteric traditions. The wound is the womb of wisdom. The Sufis call it ishki hakiki, the burning love that awakens through suffering. The Taoists say, what bends will straighten, and what breaks will strengthen. And in the Gnostic Gospel of Thomas, Christ's hidden words echo softly, if you bring forth what is within you, it will save you, if you do not bring it forth, it will destroy you. You are not merely suffering, you are carrying medicine. Look closely at the biographies of spiritual masters, mystics, and healers. Almost without exception, they walk with a limp. Buddha was weakened by self-denial before awakening. Teresa of Avila was bedridden with seizures that opened ecstatic visions. Jung himself suffered a psychic split that gave birth to his deepest teachings. And countless shamans across continents fell deathly ill before being shown the spirit world. What do they share? They alchemized their agony. They turned their poison into prayer. You too can walk this path, not by erasing your pain, but by integrating it. Ask yourself, what deeper empathy has this illness forged in me? What wisdom does my body now carry that others need? If I speak of my pain, who might feel less alone? Because hidden in the heart of spiritual illness is often the call to serve. Your wounds become maps for others lost in the same labyrinth. Your recovery, however incomplete, becomes a torch in their darkness. Practical offering, becoming the healer you needed. Begin simply. Share your story, not as a victim, but as an initiate. Speak or write from the scar, not the bleeding wound. Offer a word of comfort to someone walking a path you've crawled through. Create something, a painting, a letter, a chant, any ritual that transforms your pain into a gift. Because when you offer your suffering as light to others, something miraculous occurs. The body softens. The soul exhales. And the illness, once a curse, becomes a companion, guiding you not to death, but to depth. If this message unlocked something in you, then you've just found one of the hidden keys. Subscribe to the Temple of the Hidden Keys for more forgotten truths. Like, share, and leave your reflections below. Your voice may be the key someone else is searching for.